Yo, fellow Taker Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks, and today we are presenting another forgotten tank, and this time it is Edelweiss Valkyria Chronicles game tank, which found its way onto World of Tank console about 3 years ago as a premium tank. So I think it was a one-time special event when they offered these tanks. I think there were two of them. There was Edelweiss and Nameless at the same time. Now, I'm not sure if these tanks are available to buy, to be honest, guys. I haven't checked. I don't think they are. But regardless, you don't see many of them on the battlefield. So on my other account, on my family account, I actually have this tank and I found it. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna see how it feels like. I know from back in the day when I played this tank, I always thought it was really good. It had really good mobility. The gun was pretty snappy. It's a very nice tank. The only problem with it is gun depression. I don't think it has much. So with this tank, you can train Japanese crews. Silver earn rate and XP earn rate is pretty much very similar to anything else out there. So it doesn't give you any special bonus or anything like that. It's just a weird looking thing, right? And I remember back in that day when these tanks showed up, they kind of stood out from the actual World War II vehicles because, you know, these were like a cartoon type of vehicles that didn't really fit in the game. But, you know, there was mixed reactions at that point. Some people liked them, some people didn't like them. I actually purchased them because I thought they looked kind of cool at that point. Although Nameless is not a good vehicle, to be honest. Like, Edelweiss is the one to actually buy if you ever consider one of those two vehicles. Edelweiss is the way to go. Now, one thing to point out, these vehicles will train your Japanese crews because these are Japanese vehicles, obviously. Anyway, let's take a look at the stats quickly and let's see what this tank is good at. So this tank will do 240 alpha per shell on average. Standard shells are AP with penetration of 195 millimeters. Premium rounds are APCR with penetration of 245 millimeters. Standard round penetration for today's meta is 195. You can't pen Russian heavy tanks through the front, so you're gonna have to flank them. Even 245 millimeters of premium pen is not that fantastic, so this tank needs to serve as flanker, to be honest. One advantage of it is that, you know, the engine is pretty powerful with 800 horsepower, so you can go pretty fast, up to 60 kilometers per hour, which is quite nice. The gun itself performs pretty well. Aim time is only 2.3 seconds, which is fantastic. Accuracy 0.38, which is not the greatest, kind of your standard American type of gun accuracy, but it does the job. Gun depression, not the best, -8 degrees. Especially with the way this tank sits, it's really difficult to get your 8 degrees of gun depression. One thing that's really good about this tank is view range, which is 390 meters. So that's quite nice. Other than that, you know, it's nothing really special. It's just a cool, weird looking tank that I remember I enjoyed playing. So if you're a tank collector, you would probably love this tank to be in your garage. But other than that, I don't see a point of owning this tank, especially because of Back in Black challenge where you can get STA2 Black for like nothing, and it's probably much better crew trainer than anything else out there that's Japanese. Anyway, this game that I'm showing you guys today actually turned out really, really good. I mean, the damage is gonna be really good for this tank, to be honest, for 240 alpha. But without further ado, let's jump into the gameplay and see what we've done. So now, since Wargaming is using different spawns on this map every once in a while, if you are actually spawned on the south side, you can easily make your way up to this location if you're fast enough, to the hill, to the sniping hill. And sniping hill from those spawns is excellent because usually, you know, your friendlies are on the opposite side, on the other side where there's another sniping hill, so you're fairly safe. So the only thing you have to worry about is, you know, some tanks shooting at you from the bottom, which usually doesn't happen. So now when you have a good gun depression and good mobility, you get yourself up on this hill, and yeah, it's a fantastic position. So I think the south side has an unfair advantage with these spawns because you can control both hills on the west side and the east side. So I'm not sure why Wargaming went with this solution, but regardless, I got myself into this position here, and that's where we're gonna farm. And as you can see, we have all kinds of shots at these guys that are on the opposite side that are duking it out at E2 right there. Now I switched immediately to APCR rounds because I knew I was going to do a lot of sniping, and I wanted to make sure that I pen some of these Russian armor. Plus, you know, I'm not a top tier in this matchup, so that's what we're going to do now. This Leopard is a pain in the ass because he proximity spots me all the time. So I need to make sure I drop in because I don't know who's looking at me. So we're going to try to focus this Panther. We put another shell into him. I don't know. Look at those low rolls, though, on those shots. That's one thing I noticed. I haven't played this tank in ages, but those low rolls are real. Right? I'm rolling way below 240 in many cases. Anyway, we noticed a lot of our tanks died over here already. So we're going to move up and try to help our VK to clean up this side here. Unfortunately, I hit the rock. That was a bad shot. But we're going to try this again. And I don't need APCR rounds for the Tiger, but we already have them loaded, so we're just gonna step and repeat. And yeah, we didn't talk about reload. Look at the reload. It's 6.33 seconds with rammer, so that's not bad. Also, you saw me there, I couldn't hit the T20 because of full gun depression. It has -8 degrees apparently, but I think it's over the side of the tank because looking through the front, I don't feel like this tank has 8 degrees of gun depression. Anyway, right now it's a closeout. As you can see, we pretty much cleaned up. And that's the advantage of the south spawn, I think. So I don't know why these spawns are like that, to be honest. They should go back to originals, in my opinion. But we're going to charge this Leopard. We knew he was here. So we're going to put a shell into him. We're going to ram him. We're going to use our HP right here. We're just going to keep our frontal armor towards him. He bounces mysteriously from us, but then we scuff our shot. And I think we hit a bump and our gun depression said no. So he puts another shell into us and we lost a lot of HP in this engagement. But we were able to take the Leopard out. And now, only 3 tanks remaining. There's still an autoloader on the opposition team. I think it's Emil too. Last thing I want to do is go in front of him. So I'm going to see what my medium tank spots right there. And yeah, he spots these heavy tanks. So they're waiting over there. So I'm going to use my mobility. I'm going to flank him. And that's what this tank is good at. Now, one advantage of this tank is the fact that it can go fast and it's not going to tip over because of wide wheelbase, right? And the tracks being so far apart makes this tank really steady. So you can pretty much go very fast through bumps and uneven terrain and you will not tip this tank over. So that's what's good about it. I like that antenna too. It's kind of cool looking when you think about it. It's overall, I think it's a cool looking tank. It's just like for me, there's no difference that this tank is in a game. I mean, I'm cool with that. No big deal. I was cool with it from the beginning. I wasn't cool with mercenaries for whatever reason, but I don't know. It's just my weird brain. I can't explain it, guys. I really can't explain it. Anyway, we put a shell into this Emil too. We're gonna try to put one more shell into him, and we went behind the rock so that the Russian heavy cannot hit us. And now we can poke out and finish him off. So we're going to try to track him right here in case somebody takes him out of the game. We get all the assisted damage, but no one can take him out, so we'll do it. And we close out this game with a victory. So quite nice game in the Edelweiss. And the score is quite nice too. And I thought this was an ace, to be honest. 4.5k damage in this tank with 240 alpha. Rolling low in many cases on many of our shots. So we ended up only with 4.5k damage. But having said that, I thought this was an ace. Because no one is really playing this tank, to be honest. I don't know if these stats are from back in the day, but still, we finished with 1827 base XP, which should be an ace, to be honest. 3 kills, 4.5k damage. We fired 25 shells, we had 22 direct hits, and 19 penetrations. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. That's it for now. Until next time, happy tanking, Space Bandit, checking out.